Hi everyone, this is Holly from Hot Humble Pie. Welcome if you're new, and a big warm hello to my subscribers. I love you guys. I am really excited about the DIYs today, you guys. I am bringing you 5 farmhouse cuties, but I was so excited about my idea that I wound up crafting 17 DIYs last week. So this is part 1 of a 3-part series, and of course, as usual, I hope you enjoy my video. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I'd love it if you click that button. So a lot of you probably recognize this. This is the Dollar Tree cake pan, pie pan, pizza pan, 3-tiered tray. This is mine and I love it, but one of my chief complaints is that the top 2 tiers are really narrow. I can't find any decor that sits in there nice. It's either lopsided or it's hanging off, or it's too tall. And when I go looking for DIY videos, I find lots of videos and lots of blogs that show you how to decorate these 3-tiered trays, but I don't find any where they actually go over and show you how to make DIYs for these 3-tiered trays. And when I shop for them, I'm like, I'm not going to pay that. There's no point making a $6 tray if I'm going to spend over $100, because I need 360 degrees of farmhouse decor. So that's what I'm bringing you today. Let's get into this. DIY number 1. You're going to need a small bottle, some small craft sticks, and a dowel. I'm using some masking tape to stick on the bottle to make the surface a little bit more adhesive for hot glue. But if you have a bottle that already has an adhesive surface, you can skip the tape altogether. And I'm just cutting these craft sticks right where they begin to curve. And now that they're all cut, I'm going to start applying strips of hot glue on the bottom to attach it to the bottle, and I'm going to attach all of them around the bottle. And there's a nice little trick I left in this video on purpose, and I can't remember which YouTuber gave me that trick, but she said in her video that she got it from one of the comments. So I try to give credit, but I'm not sure who gave it originally. But if you put a little hot glue on the end of your stick, your new glue stick, before you put it into your glue gun, it doesn't fall out that way. It's a great tip. I can't take credit for it, but I did want to pass it on. So there you see me glue all of the little craft sticks around the bottle, and I took a chance and hoped that they all fit on there. It was a little bit of a tight squeeze at the end. You might want to measure ahead of time, but that's just how I craft. I kind of make it up as I go. So we're making a little antique butter churn. I saw one on eBay and I'm copying it by making a miniature version. It needs a little lid, so I'm just using some cardboard for that. My bottle sits a little too low, and I decide to go ahead, roll up some cardboard, cut it out, and glue it in a ring, and then put it down on the inside, and that will hold our lid up higher. And of course, the lid has to be covered with wood too, because we want this to look very authentic. So you don't have to be really picky about the sizes of wood here. As you can see, I have some really long, some really short. You just want to make sure you cover all of the cardboard. And now I'm just taking my little clippers and I'm trimming it around to make a perfect circle. Testing it for size, make sure that it goes in there nice and easy. Cutting the dowel, and also going to test it for size to make sure that it's not too long or too short before I commit and glue it down. And this is a Dollar Tree cookie tray, those disposable foil cookie trays. They are great for farmhouse crafts, so always try to pick some of those up. And I don't want all the bumps in there. Easy way to get rid of all the little bumps is just take the end of my scissors like you saw me do, and you just rub it down until everything's really flat. You can use whatever hard thing you have to rub it down. It doesn't have to be scissors, but it works brilliantly to get the bumps out. So now we have those nice little metal straps for our butter churn. Real antique butter churns have these metal straps. I guess it helped hold it together. And I'm just going to take some, it's called Golden Sunset from Apple Barrel. It looks yellow, but it's actually, well, it is yellow, but it's more gold. in real life. And you know how some real wood, especially antique wood, has that yellow undertone to it? The butter churn that I saw has a yellow, almost orangey yellow, I guess, undertone, but I didn't quite like the orange look because I figured, you know, once I put the burnt umber on, it'll be orangey enough. So this is watered down burnt umber, and I'm just going to put that over the yellow for a stain. And here I am using my favorite color, black. For those of you that watch my channel, you know that I love black for distressing and making things look really old and antiqued and weathered up here like it's spent a lot of time outside. I have tried other colors, but I still just have the best luck with black, and I end up dry brushing black all over this little butter churn. There I go. And we're going to be doing the same thing to the metal straps. I'm going to start with black by Apple Barrel, but you can use any black. Then pewter gray from Apple Barrel. Again, you can use any gray. And burnt umber, just to give it a little bit of the rusted look, and, you know, just trying to make them it's not galvanized, but I'm trying to make the metal look like what I saw on eBay, where it just looks really oxidized and old. And I just used hot glue for this part to glue the two bands together, and it worked just fine. You can use a stronger industrial strength glue if you need to, but you don't have to. And here it is, you guys. It is so, so cute. This is one of my favorites. I was smiling from ear to ear when I finished this. Perfect solution for a narrow 3-tier tray dilemma, and I really hope you guys get to try it. It was super fun to make, super cute. DIY number 2. You're going to need 4 wooden towering blocks from the Dollar Tree, and I'm using wood glue to glue this together because it's best for raw wood. For those of you that watch my videos, it becomes part of the wood at a molecular level, and it just blows away the other glues for raw wood. And I'm using a little bit of hot glue just to tack it together so it stays in place. Now, I don't like the seam of the wooden blocks, so I'm covering it with a medium-sized craft stick. I have only seen craft sticks in the really small ones, then there's the next size up, and then large ones, and then jumbo ones. And so I always call these the medium ones because they're the second size up, and they're also from the Dollar Tree. And here I'm just taking a coaster, whatever you have around the house, to make a top shape on the top of these 2 little sticks right here. These are going to be the end of my flower box. And you want to cut them before you put them together because there is some resistance when you cut these craft sticks, and it might make, you know, if you glue it together, it might actually start popping off whatever wood brace you choose to use. I'm using the 2 little craft sticks. I'm cutting them in half. You can see them on the side there, 2 of them. And that's what's going to brace the ends of the flower box. You can see me doing it right there. I'm just using a little bit of hot glue and some more wood glue, and I have those 2 little sticks on both the front and back side of these end pieces. I would definitely recommend giving a light little sanding at the end anywhere where you cut the craft sticks because they do tend to have splinters and little pricky frayed ends. Hopefully a lot of these steps are self-explanatory. Now I am gluing this where the craft stick, the longer part, is on the bottom, because when I put the bottom on, that's going to be the perfect little groove like a puzzle piece for it to fit in there perfectly. So make sure you glue it so that the top is flush, and I'm showing you that there's 2 of those little craft sticks on either end, and the bottom is hanging out a little bit longer for the bottom base of the flower box. And now I'm just cutting my dowel. Make it a little bit of a tighter fit because you're not going to want to use hot glue on that if you don't have to. And here I'm measuring the bottom and I'm showing you where I'm putting the brace. That middle brace right there is going to go facing on the inside. So the outside, this is the bottom of it, it will be nice and flat because otherwise it would be bumpy and rocking around. So you want to make sure the brace goes on the inside. And now I'm just gluing the ends on, and it ends up just fitting perfect because that little, craft stick hangs over a little bit. It provides the perfect fitting spot for everything. So if you guys make this craft, it kind of comes together like a nice little puzzle piece, which is fun. And I do a tight fit there, so you end up just needing wood glue, which is nice. And finally, last but not least, we use the medium craft stick to put another plank on each side because I think that looks a little bit nicer. And it makes the perfect little wooden box. Look at that, isn't it cute? That's where we are so far. And of course, what would a wooden box be without being farmhouse white? So I just give it a nice coat of my Holly Humble chalk paint. If you want to know how to make that, it's going to be at the end of this video and also below in my description box. It's not plaster of Paris and it's not baking soda, I think. And to be honest with you, I'm working on another recipe that might be even better and possibly cheaper or the same price, so stay tuned for that. But here I'm going to freehand the words fresh herbs. Now I know some parts of the United States say herbs with an H and some say it just with the E, herbs. And well, my husband's from England and they say it with the H and it drives him nuts when I mutilate the English language. Because obviously he's from the native land. So I pronounce it with the H. And that's it. I just wanted to do that slow to show you how hard that is. It's actually very hard to freehand, so don't get discouraged. I'm still practicing myself. I wanted it to look very homemade and cute and kind of farmhouse-ish like it's made at home, but I'm really pleased with how this turns out, you guys. Look at it. It's so cute, and it's just another little tier tray decoration. DIY number 3. You're going to need a pattern of a cutting board, a picture of your choosing, and 3 pieces of cardboard, and some spackling paste or joint compound. Now you can get the spackling at the Dollar Tree. I ordered mine in bulk, but the Dollar Tree one works just fine. And you're going to go ahead and cut out the pattern there. Now I will have this pattern in my description box as a free printable. Just click on that link and it will take you there and you can print up the one that I used. But you're just going to trace it, cut it out, 3 of them, glue them all together like you can see me doing here, because obviously a cutting board has to be a decent thickness. It's not going to be wafer thin, so we're going to start with that. You glue it together nice and tight. And now I'm pretty good at cutting stuff. For you guys that watch my videos, you've seen me use my circular saw. I got a whole bunch of power tools, and so I'm getting better. But even with my new skills, I am not up to cutting a small cutting board, so I made this out of cardboard to make it very user-friendly so everyone can do this craft. And here I'm just taking some sharp tweezers and I'm poking a hole through the middle, and then I'm just going to cover it with some spackling. You can use the Dollar Tree spackling. It works really, really well. This is just what I had on hand, and I just use a spare piece of cardboard to spread my spackling. And I'm going to try it just a little bit, just till it's kind of tacky, and then I dip my finger in some water and smooth the edges, and this will save you at the end when you go to sand. You won't have to sand so much. Now it is dry enough where I can gently hold it without leaving any indentations, and that allows me to finish the handle of my little cutting board. So here, while it's still wet, I'm taking an old stick from a paintbrush that fell off. I actually use this tool a lot, you guys. Hold on to everything. You never know when you're going to need it. Poking the hole through it. Now this is the next day. The next day I sand, and I just sand really lightly and fast to round out all of the edges and to get rid of any bumps or lumps or too many little grooves. I mean, you're just perfecting it so that it looks like a wooden board, because the next thing you're going to do is stain it. So we're going to be using a stain that in previous videos I was totally lukewarm about, and I take it back. I'll tell you, I grabbed this on a whim because I thought, yeah, I want to stain this cutting board. Yeah, let's slap the stain on it. If it doesn't work, we'll just do it all over again. Because that's who I am. I'm very impulsive when I craft. I discovered a lot of neat things that way. Turns out this product on a smooth surface, and this is kind of a matte surface, even though it's, it's smooth, it's matte. There it is, I'm showing you. It produces the most beautiful faux wood grain in one step, you guys. I was shocked. So now I am hot for this stuff. It's a water-based acrylic, so you can wash it up and clean it up really easy. It's not a wax. Wax does the same trick, you guys, so if you have wax, do that. But I'm guessing you could paint over this because it's water-based acrylic, which means you could change your DIYs up back and forth. You could make it white paint, then wood, then white paint, then wood. You could go back and forth. Lots of possibilities there. So, and it was super slippery. It went a long way. A little bit goes a long way. So if you're interested, I'm not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by anybody. The link is below in my description box. This is a photo from my friend's house that I miniaturized, and I'm just Mod Podging it on top of my little cutting board. And here it is. Absolutely beautiful. I go in really close here so that you can see how gorgeous that wood grain is. And even the little nicks that when you don't sand it out, look at it, it just looks like little knife marks, like a real cutting board. This is my second favorite craft. Absolutely love it. Hope you guys get to do it. Perfect for a 3-tier tray. DIY number 4. Now this is a really easy one, and this is a great way to use up those little scrap pieces of wood that you have that you don't really want to throw away. But I never throw away anything, not if you're watching my channel, you guys, because I will always come up with something you can use something for. So what does that mean? Something. Anyway, so this is my free wood, a little bit of scrap here. I'm making a small sign because it's a great width for the 3-tier tray. And here's my design. I designed the Life is Better in the Country, and the windmill I got off of the Microsoft, I think it's called clip art, but this will be a free printable for you down below if you want to do the exact same sign as me. I leave free printables below whenever possible in my description box. Now, I did have a couple people ask me what a description box is and where it's located. So I want to go over this really quick, just so everybody knows where the description box is, because it can be confusing if you don't use YouTube a lot and you find it in a Google search, if you're a blog person or whatever. So on a cell phone, tablet, or iPad, there's going to be a little gray arrow in the upper right-hand corner there. You just tap on it and it will drop down an information box that gives you more information about the video that you're watching on YouTube. And it's with every YouTube video, there's a description box. Some have more information, some have less, but they're helpful to read if you're interested and you have questions, and maybe sometimes if you look there, you'll find the answer. On a PC or laptop, you're going to click on the words that say show more, and that will drop down that same description box. So I hope that helps you guys out. On this particular one, I do need to use my Sharpie and the ultra fine tip Sharpie, as well as paint to get in all the lettering and kind of finish this sign, because it is a petite sign. Since I'm making it for the 3-tier tray, I just have to kind of do a little mix and match act on this, but it all ends up matching and looking really good at the end. here's the final reveal, you guys, and I really love the way the wood was bumpy. It just naturally distressed itself. I didn't have to do anything because I couldn't get the paint down in those grooves. This is a sign that you would find at Hobby Lobby or Michael's Craft Store or any craft store, and it would run you between $9 to $12, and it was totally free. Super cute. DIY number 5. So here you're going to need more of the little Dollar Tree foil cookie sheets, and I'm showing you now in more detail how you rub out those bumps. Now if you have a little bumps left behind for this craft, it's fine, it will look good, but that's all you need to do. And then you need either poster board or cardstock, just something kind of thicker so it doesn't bend. Cut out the little shape of a blade. We're going to be making a little miniature windmill here. Now it's also called a sail. Those are called windmill sails or windmill blades. I think that's so cute. So I'm going to call it a blade today. And these little cookie trays are actually doubled up here. So for every single blade that I cut out, I'm going to get 2. And you will need a total of 8 double-sided blades. You will also need a wine cork and some toothpicks later, but you're going to be cutting out 3 cork slices all together. 2 are going to be the same size, and your third piece should be half as big as the other 2 pieces. And you're going to need 8 toothpicks. Cut them off to whatever size you want, depending on how long you want your windmill blades to be. Just be careful not to cut off the pokey side, because that is, don't cut it at both sides, because you'll need one side to have that sharp end so that you can poke it into the wine cork. Now I just used a little bit of hot glue here. It worked just fine, a thin strip, but really important, don't forget to do this part. Lay it side by side and make sure that all of them match up and line up evenly so that you don't have an uneven circle for your windmill. When you're done doing that, go ahead and glue your second top piece of foil on top, and as the glue is drying, not when it's really hot, but when it gets cool enough to touch, pinch those sides together so that you seal them up nice and tight. And this is what they'll look like when you're all done. And if there's any little overlap or some of the foil is not, you didn't glue it down completely evenly, and so you have a little edge from the back foil or front foil hanging over, just trim that afterwards, it's just fine. You're going to need 4 skewer sticks. Mine are from the Dollar Tree. Now do cut off the pokey ends on those, because the factory cut flat ends are going to be better for legs at the bottom. They'll look more, store-bought. And take the larger cork slice and glue the 2 legs down like you see me doing here, and then take the thinner cork slice and glue that on top of that. Next, you're going to glue what will be the back of your windmill on top of the thinner slice. And as it's drying, make sure you hold your legs out at an angle, because it's going to need to stand on its own. I'm going to stand it up in a minute so that you have that view and you can see exactly what you're going for. Now I did end up cutting another thin piece to put on top of the back there so that you can't see where they're glued together, and you can do that too. And you take the second thicker slice and you're going to be stabbing in your little windmill blades, just like you see me doing there, so that you have your little windmill. I'm using some watered down burnt umber by Apple Barrel Paint to stain it, but you can use any color brown, it's no big deal. And I'm staining the corks. You don't have to. This is going to be your baby if you make it, so you guys always do your crafts the way that makes your heart content. But I went ahead and stained the corks brown. I thought it came out really nice, and I even stained the little toothpicks. And then I'm taking some of the pewter gray in Apple Barrel, and I'm just dabbing it on with a sponge to make the blades look nice and old and antiqued. And I'm going to edge them with the burnt umber as well. So I'm totally in love with this guy, and I'm using E6000 to make sure that it stays together with a little dot of hot glue. I've got my window open, a fan going, holding my breath, you guys. It's all good. If you want to just use hot glue, it's okay, or another strong adhesive, but I am thrilled with how this windmill came out. It is so cute. The blades, because I did them double-sided, look super thick and chunky. It looks like a real metal windmill. It fits perfect on the top of my 3-tier tray. Seriously, my dear, amazing friends, I am so excited to share my farmhouse DIYs that I made for you over the next coming weeks. I made over 15. They are amazing, and none of them exceeded 50 cents. And, I just can't wait. I hope you guys get to make this one. It was a lot of fun. And if you liked what you saw, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And until the next video, breathe deep, fret not, and do things that make you happy.